You're in the right place. Online, on the web, and on air. All over the world.
Yeah, good evening everybody and welcome to the KTPF Community
Talk Radio.
Yeah, it's Talk Radio show tonight, and we've also got a couple of guests on for starting from 8:30.
You hear us, we hear you.
And for those of you who've never been listening to the show before, my name's Suzanne.
And I'm Steve.
And we're here to try and talk everything paranormal, cryptozoology, and strange phenomena to you all. Phenomenon. And all things like that. Conspiracy theories, UFOs. We try and bring everything to you with special guests as well as yourselves taking part in the topics as well. So we hope everybody's found us. And considering we've had a few problems today, I don't know what's happened, but we seem to have lost a couple of our sites. And it's not down to domains or anything like that. We've got the hosting people looking into it. So that's why we've asked everyone to come on to the main livestream.com channel. So hopefully everything will be on. Message. Yes, hopefully they did. I did send it all out as like an event thing. So good evening, Reiki Debs. I'm glad you found us. Glad you got the message. I assume that you're on the actual live stream site. So hope everything's all right with you. So no, got through on your website. Oh right, okay. So you've got the website. If you get a problem though, please do.
Go over to the live stream site.
Yeah, go over to the live stream. I've just got to send this over to somebody. Give me a minute. But we've had a bit of a week, well, a bit of a day really, haven't we, Steve?
We have.
Everything seemed to go bye this morning.
It's really weird because it's only the .com sites that have gone.
Yeah.
No, the co.uk, sorry.
Yeah.
Problems. All the .com sites are fine.
Yeah, this is it.
i.e. Paranormal Events View is up and running, no problem, because it's .com.
Yes, so I really don't know what's happened there. So, yeah, I will follow the link. Yeah, so if anyone does have a problem, that's the place to go. If you do have a problem. Oh, it will be if it... 2 seconds. So, so as I say, I don't know who's in at the moment. We do have 7 listeners, and as I say, we aren't a channel as such, but we are here to try and bring everything and anything that is paranormal.
Yes, tonight, my guest, we have a group coming on to join us.
So Steve's changed the colour, and I can't see it.
It's blue.
Yeah, I know it's blue. It's very dark blue on that chat room.
Only because you've got a black background.
I know, that's the trouble.
And also, we have a lady coming in that's possibly giving us an alternative reason why we're getting all these ghosts and things.
Yeah, we're going to... we've changed it around a bit because we've got some people that can't actually get in till about after 9. So what we've decided to do is at 8:30, we're going to have John Harris on from UK Paranormal. He's going to be telling us about what he's been up to and how things are going with him. He's been on before because he was the group was called Sixth Sense. So I'm sure you've heard of them before.
It was, and mind you, there was 2 Sixth Sense out there. So.
Yeah. And as I say, later on, about 9:30, we're going to be speaking to Rosemary Ellen Guiley. I think that's how you pronounce it, or Guiley. She's a leading expert on the paranormal and supernatural. She conducts original field investigations of haunted and mysterious sites. And she's written more than 45 books, including 9 encyclopaedias. and hundreds of articles in print on a wide range of paranormal, spiritual and mystical topics, and she possesses an exceptional knowledge of the field. And she's written a book about the Djinn, and she feels as though that the Djinn is connected to everything and anything paranormal, to be honest with you. And we're going to get her take on it and find out just what she believes is the Djinn and this, that and the other. We've had this conversation before though, haven't we?
Do we actually know whether the lady is actually a Muslim or not?
We don't.
Because that tends to be
she's
a Muslim belief.
I'm not sure what her religion is, to be honest with you. But we will find out.
Should be interesting either way.
As I say, that's a picture of the lady. So
these days, what the people look like has got no, really does not. I mean, there was a time when all Muslims were of an Asian, Indian, African kind of look.
But yes,
shall we say? But now it's Muslimism is spread right across the world. So you can't tell who is and isn't anymore.
Well, we can find out anyway. So she's written a book called The Vengeful Djinn, Unveiling the Hidden Agendas of Genies. So we're going to find out more about that. So yes, we went to Settle for the weekend, and it was a nice, relaxing weekend. And we didn't actually go and see the portal, I'm afraid. So we couldn't get to see that because of the weather. But we did have a good weekend though, didn't we, Steve?
We did indeed.
So
very relaxing.
But so found 2 spirits in a vortex in the building. Yes. Was that in the Folly?
That was in the Folly, yes.
Yeah, they won't admit it though.
No, they won't. The door actually closed on Lynn, didn't it?
Yes, it did. So, but yeah, as I say, we have got 8 viewers at the moment. Not many in the chat room though. So, not many to say hello to. So, we can't give you a name check. So I'm not sure where the portal is, to be honest with you, Debs.
Oh, well, we know Deb's in the chat room.
Yeah, Reiki Debs is in the chat room. So hopefully the listeners will come into the chat room and get involved in the conversations.
Yes, we have 8 in there at the moment.
8, yeah.
Yes. Shall we do some observations that we found?
Why not?
Why not? I'll just move the mic over there. I've got to turn around the other way. Let's take this out of my ear as well. Because it's off-putting. You listen to yourself talk back. Are we ready? Here we go. First, I'm off to Asia. With the title of "Roll with It: Ghost in the Toilet Unravels Factory Workers." What are you looking at?
That's all right, I was just checking something, but it doesn't matter.
Checking.
I was just checking to see whether you've got that up or not.
I have.
You have, so you can pull that down. Oh, sorry,
Oh, you just killed the dog.
I'm sorry,
poor little Roxy. I can just do that. Poor little Roxy got trodden on.
Yeah, come up here. Come on. Hey.
Right, here we go. Roll with it. Ghost in the Toilet Unravels Factory Workers. This was written by Benjamin Radford for Live Science, by all accounts.
Okay.
Thousands of workers at a garment factory in Bangladesh stopped working and rioted earlier this week, demanding the ghost be removed from their building.
Oh.
The problem began when a female worker said she felt sick and attributed her condition to an attack by a ghost inside a toilet in the woman's washroom.
Okay.
According to news reports, more than 3,000 frightened workers at the plant in the city of, are we ready, Gazipur protested, with dozens of them vandalising the building before police used tear gas to quell the riot. This is not the first time this kind of thing has happened. It's let me see. It's happened in. I'll just skip through this because it is a long way through here. In 2011, more than 1,000 workers in a shoe and clothing factory in Cambodia were feeling fatigued, dizzy, nauseated. Couldn't find anything wrong medically, but after rest, and that went away. Also in Dhaka and Bangladesh in recent weeks. Obviously, the building that collapsed recently is in April is on everybody's mind with their what they're calling it is mass sociogenic illness. In other words, mass hysteria.
Yeah.
So you get hysteria, and that affects me, who affects somebody else, and before we know it, everybody's going doolally with hysteria. That's it's really surprising how something like that can affect everybody.
Yeah.
Hello, Claire. We have a Claire.
We have a Claire.
I've just seen Deb say hi, Claire. So there's supposed to be a Claire in there somewhere. I can't see one. I'm sure it'll come up. Right. Next. Who's read Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code? Hello. What's up? Who's read the Da Vinci Code?
I haven't. You have.
You haven't? Well,
I've seen it.
Well, you'll know Robert Langdon, won't you?
Yes.
Now, I'm not sure if this is the same one.
Okay.
But a bookseller from Rottingham claims to have uncovered the secrets of the legendary Lost City, self-styled codebreaker Robert Langdon, saying Stonehenge was actually built by the citizens of Atlantis.
Oh, right.
Believed submerged under the sea thousands of years ago. Yesterday, the 55-year-old published a book called Stonehenge Enigma, which has already caused quite a stir amongst academic and conspiracy theorists around the world. In it, he claims the monument's builders left 6,000-year-old map of the world flooded by rising seawater. The retired analyst, who describes himself as a combination of Sherlock Holmes, Hercule Poirot, and Indiana Jones, said it will be difficult to disprove his controversial theory. He said, "I love prehistory. I think it should be called prehistory. In my mind, it's the greatest ever whodunit." He has 40 pieces of evidence that proves the Atlanteans built Stonehenge as a monument to their lost dead. So it's basically a big gravestone. He's had clashes with the academics, and Mr. Langdon believes two special stones in Stonehenge point directly to Atlantis, which he says lies under the North Sea in a place archaeologists called Doggerland. I've never heard it. I'm going to have to Google Doggerland.
Yeah.
Among other clues, he believes the site was once an island populated by an ancient nautical race, citizens of the Lost City. Mr. Langdon said academic reaction to his theories have been mixed, but said his findings were well researched and backed up with concrete evidence. Now, if you want to see this evidence, you can visit his Ology bookshop. Thank you. At 1214 High Street, Rottingdean. Or you can get more information at his website, robertjohnlangdon.blogspot.co.uk. So you can see and get information, see some of the evidence.
So is this Robert John Langdon?
I'm not sure. To be perfectly honest, it could just be that Dan Brown pinched his name for the book.
Maybe. So.
But there's obviously does seem to be a John Langdon and Robert Langdon. So anyway, and he does do code breaking.
Wow.
Are you ready for this one? This one got me thinking.
Oh, go on,
Google's chief engineer said public will soon upload their entire brains to computers.
Okay.
Here we go.
Plot thickens.
He said there's around 377 million results on Google.com for the query, "Can I live forever?" Ask that question to company topic engineer, though you're likely to hear the answer that's more concise. Simply put, Google's Ray Kurzweil said immortality is only a few years away, digital immortality at least. Kurzweil, 64, was only brought onto Google last year, but that hasn't stopped him making headlines Already during a conference in New York City last week, the company's director of engineers said the growth of biotechnology is so quickly paced that he predicts our lives will be drastically different in a few decades. According to Kurzweil, humans will be able to upload their entire brains onto computers after then. Other advancements won't be too far away. So he's talking 20 years.
Look at
The technology is moving that fast.
that. Wow.
Casper Clare. She's come up now, I can see her.
Yeah.
I can see her on the chat. Welcome. Haha, where are we going now?
What we got next?
Wadada.
I beg your pardon.
He's a blogger.
Wadada.
Yeah, Wadada is a blogger. He didn't want to write about this until he scooped the satellite views for himself. Whatever it is, there is an object the size of Jupiter, bigger actually, 10 times bigger if the image is accurate, and two more may have also appeared as a handful of objects larger than the Earth. It can't be planets or companion stars, as the first one just suddenly appeared, as you'll see in the time code images that was below this page. Obviously I haven't got them on here because there's no point, you won't be able to see them.
Yeah.
And glitches don't typically orbit stars. It says you can update and click there for the thing. Amazing video of the object decloaking. If that's what's happened here, things pop up around 6 to 17 date mark on the video. I'm going to give you a thing to go to. I just wish I'd moved it over there so I could put it on. I will get it up for you, don't worry. And you can actually see, I've actually seen it myself.
Yeah.
I watched the video, and about the 16, 17 second mark, this object just suddenly appears beside the sun, beside the planet. And on the page where I got this from, where they zoomed into it, it does actually look like Starship Enterprise.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
It's that kind of shape. So it's, but they are there, and I will put this on. I will get this up on there and put it on for you,
so you can have a look.
so you can have a look for yourselves.
Okay.
If you've got a pen and paper, I can read it out to you. But it'd be better if I put it on there. For you.
Yeah, you'd be better off putting it on there.
Unless you can do it by getting hold of this. If not, I'll do it myself in a second. Right. This one's actually me. I don't normally do anything on Mars.
Okay.
Because there's so much rubbish out there. There's a pinnacle here, there's a tree there, there's this, that, and I thought, oh, golden, there's tons of it. I could be here all night doing it.
Okay.
But this one made me think a little bit. There's obviously they've got the Mars rover up there at the moment.
Yeah.
And there's pictures from which you can see at NASA on the NASA website, the original.
Yeah.
Because obviously the one I saw here was close up.
Yeah.
Which I actually found on about.com, from the paranormal bit.
Yeah.
That we check these things from. NASA has released a picture of what looks like a gold compact disc on Mars.
Oh my God.
On Mars. Now, I can imagine that the rover would have anything on it that would need a CD.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine the CD player going wrong when it is on Mars? I mean, some people said maybe it's fallen off. So, how does something like that end up on Mars? What are the options? Either man has been on Mars and we haven't been told, which is obviously very unlikely.
Yeah.
The Yankees and the Russians will be shouting it from the rooftop.
Uh-huh.
They're the main candidates for going up at the moment. Obviously, the Chinese are not far behind because they're getting into the race now. Or could Eric Van Daniken actually be right?
And?
That we are descended from an alien race.
Yeah.
And i.e. what we're seeing there is old technology. I mean, it hasn't been... How long has it been since we had compact discs?
Oh, quite a few years, isn't it?
About 30 years?
Oh,
somewhere around there?
Yeah.
But
20, 30.
No one's been to Mars.
No.
So how did this one get on Mars? So if an alien race had been there, same one that's been here, it could be old technology.
It could be.
Could be old technology.
Reiki Deb says space debris.
Who's been throwing CDs up into space?
I've been listening to Barry Manilow's greatest hits.
Well, we've been playing music to them, but
You never know.
on different satellites, but I don't think we didn't use the old CD.
Casper Clare said falling off something floating around. So
I can't think of anything that would with that far technology to get up there that would be controlled by CD.
very interesting.
It's a bit
Mm,
low tech,
very low
but
tech.
you never know. It's a question for you. But this one's for our cousins across the pond,
Okay.
mainly because if we want to go, it's going to cost us a fortune.
Arm and a leg.
Yes, it's Haunted Springs Paranormal Fest
Yeah.
on the October the 4th and 6th.
Hmm.
Hot Springs, Arizona will be host city for the Haunted Springs Paranormal Fest. Hot Springs, which is a rich history of mafia, fires, hauntings, haunted entertainment, will bring together many professionals, well-respected speakers in the paranormal field.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the speakers include Jeff Leeper from TAPS, Michael and Lindsay Knight, hosts of Paranormal and Beyond.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Christy Bradshaw, award-winning journalist of the Bradshaw Chronicles.
Yeah.
Cedric Taylor, known as the Urban Entity.
Hmm.
Terry. Why do these people have funny names? I'm assuming he's Italian, so I'm going to say Terry Viciano of Haunted Tower, Haunted Tours of Hot Springs, and many other guests. The event would include a meet and greet on Friday night with speakers and vendors, with Ghost Hunt led by Jeff Looper of Taps on Saturday, and a luncheon on Sunday. There will also be an extended haunted tour of Hot Springs with very special price for their participants.
Mm-hmm.
The event is intended to educate people about the facts and myths of the paranormal and ghost hunting. For those of you in the US that's listening, you can get your tickets at http://haunteds. That's where you need to go to get your tickets if you want to go on that. Sounds like a good event.
Does, doesn't it?
And over to you.
Okay, well, I've got to mention this because it's close to home, and I've also got to mention that the powers that be did actually work it out what I thought.
Right,
Have you heard about the curse of the spinning statue at Manchester Museum? The 10-inch tall relic, which dates back to 1800 BC, was found in a mummy's tomb and has been at the Manchester Museum for 80 years. An ancient Egyptian statue has spooked museum bosses after it mysteriously started to spin round in a display case. The 10-inch tall relic, which dates back to 1800 BC, was... Yeah, you just said that it was found in a silly
They
sausage.
do like to,
I
they do
know,
like to repeat
but
themselves.
in recent weeks, curators have been left scratching their head after they kept finding it facing the wrong way. Experts decided to monitor the room in time-lapse video and was astonished to see it clearly shows the statuette spinning 180 degrees with nobody going near it. The statue of the man named Nebsanu is seen to remain still at night, but slowly rotates during the day. Now scientists are trying to explain the phenomena, with TV boffin Brian Cox among the experts being consulted. And they say that on the reverse of it, there is hieroglyphics on the back that ask for bread, beer, and beef, which the mourners would lay offerings at its feet. And I must admit, my theory straight away was that it was down to friction. And Brian thinks it's differential friction when two surfaces, the serpentine stone and the statue, the glass shelf it is on, causes a subtle vibration which makes the statuette turn. But it has been on those surfaces since we have had, and it has never moved before. And why would it go around in perfect circle? I must admit, if it's never moved before, but I'm sure somebody said that they did move it to a different surface, but it is intriguing, and so that was something that sparked a bit of a curiosity in Manchester this week. So but you managed to get it over there, did you? The website.
Yeah, I did.
Now, if you're listening to us,
The advantages of having two computers here.
either on replay or at the moment, for KTPF are currently seeking guests from all fields of the paranormal to join us on our live broadcast. Online every Wednesday at 8 p.m. and occasionally Sundays, we cover the supernatural, paranormal, ufology, cryptozoology, conspiracies and other strange mysteries and phenomena. Plus, we'd like to showcase other paranormal groups and mediums from around the globe to engage in friendly discussion and interact with our listeners in a fun and relaxed environment. Nothing too scheduled on here, is there, really?
The only thing scheduled is the fact that guests are coming on.
Oh, no. And it is a relaxed environment, isn't it?
It is, some would say too.
Too relaxed.
Yes.
Why?
But we don't care.
We don't care. Interested? Then contact us at admin@ktpf.co.uk to book your spot on the show, or via our Facebook page. So if you want to do that. Okay.
Yeah. And going back to what I said about the CD, Claire said that it might be a cover.
It could be a cover.
Not an actual CD.
Yeah. We're just assuming.
The link I put on there is the appearance of this, for want of another word, spaceship.
Yes. So
have a look yourself, guys, and see what you think.
Yeah, give us your opinion. Right, okay.
After the show, please.
After the show.
Otherwise, we'll miss you.
Yes, you can always add it on. We'll put the link on the Facebook page. You can always add it to there, so you can do that, Steve.
I can go do that now.
Yes, you can. And what we're going to do now, we're going to get hold of our first guest when I've had a drink, and we're going to talk to John, which I'm sure he's around somewhere, not very far away. Let's see whether I can get hold of him. I don't know whether he's actually in the chat room, but hopefully he will be ready. Let's just see. Ask him if he's ready. Dum dum dum. So, and we'll see what he's typing. He sure is. Right, okay. So let's get hold of.
And it's up on the FB page.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, John. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Shattered, but not too bad.
Good, good.
So I'm having one of the. To be truthful, since the stroke, I've been very tired of late. So I've not been too good, but I'm getting there.
Excellent. Did you get your technical issues sorted out with the website?
No, not as yet. But some people have managed to get on the show by the website, so I'm a little bit confused.
Oh, right, okay.
So I'm not sure what's going on there. So maybe the powers that be are actually trying to sort something out. Reiki Deb said she's still on there, so you know,
Excellent.
so I can't get it at all. So it's a bit confusing. So
certainly,
you know, so I really don't know what's going on.
Absolutely.
It's really a weird what's name. So but at least we've got some listeners. Reiki Deb says she's got special powers. And who was that in the background with you, John?
That's Kelly. Can you see her? Wave, Kelly.
Hiya.
Hiya.
How are you?
All right, thank you.
Good. Right, so we've got Casper Clare in the chat room.
Yes, certainly. Claire's one of our new colleagues.
Yes. And
Reiki
Debs.
And Reiki Debs is in there. I think you've met Debs before.
We have, yes. Came to one of our events.
So
right.
I think that's when we first met Debs, was when we came to the galleries.
Yeah, it was.
Funny enough, we were there a couple of weeks ago.
What was it like?
Dead.
Rubbish.
Really?
It was dead. We didn't get the caves. It was locked. They'd forgot to unlock it.
Oh, no. That's the best part, yeah.
The audio, you know, the
wash house.
The wash house, the ladies' quarters.
Yes.
That had the audio on still. They forgot to turn it off. And there was some lights still on as well.
I hope you got a refund.
No.
No, they opened up the police cells for us.
They did open up the police cells for us, but
excellent.
But we didn't get nothing all night. Nothing, not a bean.
That's disappointing because I've always found the galleries to be one of those places that generally always gives activity. So it's very disappointing that you had a bad night, definitely.
Yeah. I was disappointed because we had a good night when we came with you.
Absolutely, it was very active night that night.
Yeah, so I've been asked to please say hi to my team co-owners, Kel and John. I am listening.
It's Claire.
Yeah,
now, Claire would have loved to have been with us, but Claire lives all the way down in Devon.
Devon?
Yes, I'll obviously go into a bit more information about who Claire is and what's happening later on.
First of all, let me know what's been going on with yourself, and because as I say, the last time you came on, you were Sixth Sense.
Yeah, well, there's quite a big story to it. Sixth Sense still exists in every form. What the scenario were, we are obviously have always been a national paranormal company, but we had the opportunity to purchase UK Paranormal, which will give us a bit more of a Google presence and also a bit more of a national national coverage and a bit more of a well-known name. So we still officially own Sixth Sense, but UK Paranormal is now the main company. But we've kind of made a few changes, a few massive changes actually, to the way things run now and how it's operated. So we started back as UK Paranormal in January, and we did a few very successful events. Now I know you're obviously aware that I became quite ill with a brain condition, which we kind of had to slow things down for a couple of months because obviously I was the person working on the business full time. So the scenario were, I've always had a friend who came to our ghost hunts. We always, used to meet up at other companies' ghost hunts. Someone who's very well known in the industry was Claire Salter. Now Claire's, as I say, a very good friend and an extremely good paranormal investigator. She's worked for some of the top private teams. She's been around in the industry for a long, long time. So Claire came to me and said, I can't let you throw this away. I know you're ill. There's too much for you to deal with. I want to come and help. So what's happened is, I've now actually quit my day job to work on UK Paranormal full time, and Claire is also working full time for UK Paranormal. Claire actually owns a percentage of the company now, so things have gone from strength to strength. Our Facebook group has grown exponentially. We're having the amount of visitors to our website is increased massively as well. But what else we see is a bit more of a team dynamic with Claire. Claire's in the middle of the road. As you know, I've always been very spiritual, because obviously what I do. Then you've had Darren, who was very scientific. Mm-hmm. And what happened is we used to have Kelly, who sat in the middle. So Kelly was, very sensitive, but also operating on a scientific level. But it was just Kelly. So now what's happened is Claire's come along and she's also in that same part. So she's very spiritual. She's trying to develop her sensitivity, but she's also very scientific in the way that she investigates. So she now joins Kelly as the middle of the road. Now, the original message we always try to set out as Sixth Sense Paranormal is to have the spiritual scientific balance. So it's okay for a medium to say there's a spirit sat in that corner, but then if one of our scientific guys can actually capture that on evidence, it validates both arguments. So that's always been the philosophy of Sixth Sense Paranormal, and we've carried that through to UK Paranormal. And by bringing Claire on board, it just strengthens that proposition. We've also taken on a guy called Chris. Now Chris is very, very geeky tech. He does all the technical equipment, and the good thing about Chris is he's a very intelligent guy. And what he's doing is he's researching and trying to create new types of equipment for capturing evidence.
He's a bit of a mad scientist.
John,
yeah, a bit of a mad scientist.
Can I interrupt you there for a second?
Hold on, John.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Do you have a moth or a fly or something in that room where you are?
More than likely.
Because what looked like an orb on the camera has just gone at the top to the right of the door as you look at it.
Is that a door behind you?
Steve, as you can imagine with what I do, there's quite often things in this house, so it's hard to say what it is, whether it be anything paranormal or otherwise.
I was taking the obvious bit first and seeing if there any insects in there.
Sorry, carry on, John.
So the scenario is we took Chris. As I say, Chris is kind of like the mad scientist, as Kelly put across. He's kind of creating new types of ways to capture evidence, and there's some ingenious ways. He's currently working on a device using plasma, which is absolutely genius. He's looking at EMF pumps. He's really getting into all the kit and starting to capture evidence for us. So he's working very closely with Darren, that you guys know.
Yeah.
As you know, Darren was always our scientific guy, and he's still the lead investigator on the scientific side.
Mm-hmm.
But then one of the biggest things we saw last year, we were advertising for a medium. Obviously, it was just too much work for myself. So we were advertising for a new medium. So what we did is we came across and it was purely by chance. Went to a friend's party, and some young lady got some tarot cards out for us. And she didn't know who I were, what I did, and she gave me the best reading I've ever had. We then started a discussion of this is what I do. One of the owners of UK Paranormal. Let's see what you like on a ghost hunt. So we took her along to a ghost hunt, and she is phenomenal. Now she's brand new to the industry. Her name's Kirsty. Now Kirsty's working very closely with me at the moment, but she's soon becoming one of the more renowned mediums in the industry. She's extremely talented, and I can't wait for you guys to meet her when you next come on an event. So what kind of we saw happen as well now is with Claire running the business day to day with myself. We started trying to get different types of locations and doing different types of ghost hunts. Mm-hmm. So rather than doing your box standard galleries of justice or false enough experience, we wanted to try and think outside the box and what kind of events will excite people. So we're trying to revisit some of the older locations that were once famous that have just been dropped off the map. So, for instance, at the end of the month, the end of July, we're doing the Sheffield Fire and Police Museum.
Yeah.
Now, that is an extremely active place. It used to be so famous for ghost hunting, but it just fell off the map all of a sudden. So we kind of we revisited that idea, and they're very excited about having us back there. So we've got that one shortly, and then we've also we're looking at we're doing a dual ghost hunt in a double whammy. So this one's happening, if Claire will tell me if I forget the wrong date, but I'm sure it's the 5th of October. We're going in the tunnels at Dudley on boats,
on boats.
Yeah, so we're going to go on narrow boats. We're going to be going under the Dudley tunnels.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to do a 4-hour investigation of the Dudley tunnels, and then at 9 p.m, what's going to happen? We're going to have fish and chips, and then we're heading over.
Good.
We're heading over to the very famous Station Hotel. And we've got 5 of the most haunted rooms, the cellar areas, and the hotel lobbies. Yeah, it's the only place I've ever seen Kelly cry with activity. Station Hotel can be very hit and miss, but we've had some of the best activity we've ever seen there.
When is that, John?
That's on the 5th.
That's on the 5th of October, yeah, in Dudley.
He says, Claire says, no, the fish and chips are first.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay, sorry.
That is true, I've seen the
I told you she'd tell me off. So we kind of think outside the box. We've also got some locations that we can't really announce yet.
No.
That are coming up shortly. That's going to shock a few people, to say the least. I'm sorry. We've got Bodmin Jail as well in August.
We're not doing nothing on the 5th.
We've never done that. This is one that Claire has already booked with her previous company. Claire was the owner. Sorry, still is the owner of Devon and Cornwall Paranormal.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we've kind of amalgamated the companies together. So we've taken on board all their events. So we're doing the Bodmin Jail. Now, the good thing about that as well is I've been working very closely with another medium in the industry, a very well celebrity medium, as you know, Ali Key. Now, Ali Key's actually going to be working with us at Bodmin, which is kind of, you know how I am. I'm the say it as I see it kind of medium.
Yeah.
And I don't hold back, I swear, and I'm rude. And Ali's exactly the same. So we've kind of marketed the idea as the bad boys of the paranormal come together, which is kind of a bit cheesy, but we're hoping it's going to be a very exciting event.
And we'll spend the whole night giving people dead eye to shut up.
So it's going to be quite an interesting event as well. but we're growing in size, but we kind of still wanting to keep to the same principles and philosophies that we started out as Sixth Sense Paranormal, where we're always going to try and debunk any kind of claim of activity until we've got no explanation, and that's when we'll declare it as paranormal. As you probably know, Sixth Sense Paranormal, we're a TAPS family member, so we stick very closely to how Jane Grant set the rules, and we've followed that through to UK Paranormal. We've got a brand new website. It's uk-paranormal.com. We've got some really interesting stuff on there. We're working on some TV pilots, which there's a little example of that on the website, on the About Us page. So we've got a really exciting year ahead of us. And just by bringing Claire on board to run a company with me and Kelly, it's just really strengthening the proposition that we can offer. And which leads me a little bit to one of the things I really did want to discuss with you tonight, and the fact that events companies are being criticised in recent times by a lot of private paranormal investigation companies. Right. Now, I literally wanted to just touch on it briefly to say that a lot of, and this is the same for a lot of the paranormal companies out there. So it's not just UK Paranormal, all your big ones like Dust Till Dawn and UK Ghost Nights and quite a few of the companies that's been around a while. We all kind of make sure we've got a certain level of team members working with us. So we always try and make sure we've got experienced team members that will try and debunk activity before declaring it to be paranormal.
Well, you have to, don't you?
Absolutely, but we're seeing an awful lot of criticism from private investigation companies. Now, the argument I've kind of got for it a little bit is, I know by offering the services we offer, firstly, it prevents random people breaking into derelict buildings to try and do their own ghost hunts, because they've always got the kind of the ability to come along with us. But secondly, it also prevents people dabbling in stuff they don't really understand in.
Yeah. Can I just ask, when you say private paranormal groups, what do you mean?
I mean, like investigation teams that literally do hire locations out for their team alone to go and investigate. They don't take any guests at all.
Oh, right, yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah.
But we do that as well. We've got one this Friday with another group that we're just going in as a team. But great. I credit any of the companies that do it. But the argument is, I just kind of wanted to put across the argument from an events company that we're actually offering a service. I mean, we're going in and experiencing everything we want in these locations. Mm-hmm. So why should we deprive the public of being able to come along and experience a true paranormal encounter or experience with professionals? And it brings me back to the we always know that if we've got a professional team there, that the guests are going to be safe. So as I say, it stops people dabbling in situations that they don't really understand, and they can come along and work with professionals.
Also, it takes years to learn how to get the activity that you want and how to handle the activity and encourage it properly and safely. Yeah. And we can help them do that straight away. If they were doing that on their own, it'd be a long way to go and probably dabbling with things that they don't understand.
Yeah. I agree. So I just wanted to put a message out there that literally, yes, there is an awful lot of events coming out there, but there is a place for it. As long as serious investigations are still taking place, we're keeping the public safe, and we're also offering, I think, a great service. We've all seen some of the evidence that's been released at late from several paranormal companies throughout the UK, and a majority of that is events companies. So
it's animosity again, isn't it, between groups?
Can I also say that a lot of events company, us and yourself included, do their own private ones. We also go out to people's homes and help them as well. So we don't just do. Well, in our case, we do the public ones because it helps us to pay for the events. Yes. We don't have money because we're not a company, so it's the only way we can do these places. Yeah. Either that or we join the likes of yourself on an evening.
One of the main reasons we do private hunts is on our investigations. We never touch any of the equipment. Show people how to do with it. We don't get involved in it because we don't want to be seen as interfering. Last thing we want is someone to say you're pushing a Ouija board or a table. Yeah. Support our guests to do that. So when we go on our own investigations, we can get stuck in and have a go at it ourselves that we don't get to do on public events.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're also doing, we did 5 last year, private investigations where we're actually helping people in their own homes. Got a very good, we some friends down in Oxford had a very bad situation happening down there, and we went down around 5 times to help them, and we've actually managed to sort out the problems. So we're also, and we offer that service for free. Now, although we do charge for our events, the service, paranormal assistance is what we call it. We still go out and we help people if they have an issue at all, anything within the paranormal world. We're there to lend an ear and our expertise.
Yeah, very true.
That is very true. Claire's saying that we like to teach, and as Kelly is saying, we don't involve so private is our time to have a break and work as a team, which is the way we normally do it. If we can get a team if we can get a team investigation, it's good, because then also on your team investigations you can try new stuff out and see how it goes before you can give it out to the public to do.
Well, it brings. We went last week. I wish we could have took you there, Sue. We went to a location last week, and I will tell you about it after where the location is. And it was absolutely phenomenal. It's a place that's never been done. I think it's been done maybe once in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And we went with our friends. We went with Ali Key, Sadie, and Charmaine, who were all part of Paranormal Events Leicester. Great friends of ours. And we hide the location just between us. And I promise you, the amount of activity in there, I ran. Now, you know me, Sue. I've been in this industry an awful long time, and there's nothing that can scare me. I ran like a little girl.
I would love to have seen that.
We've got phenomenal EVPs. We got full body apparitions appearing. We got shadow figures, and we even think we experienced a non-human entity.
Wow!
And it was purely from the shadow that it created. Well, that's where I liked it.
Can I join your team?
Yeah, it was. But honestly, it was out of this world and fantastic. We've got some great footage. But the good thing is, because we had so many experts with us, we're able to, really test our boundaries. And now we're going to be booking this location. We're actually going back there on Friday for another private investigation.
We're going this week as well.
Yeah, so I promise I'll take you one day, Sue and Steve. We'll definitely get you down there one day, because you will honestly run like I did.
I can run. So how far away is it?
Just get your stick out and hit him with it, girl.
Is it in your area, or is it further south?
No, it's actually in a Nuneaton area.
Right, okay.
So that's probably around 50 miles away from us.
Right, okay.
Obviously, we're a bit further north.
Yeah. Claire travelled from Devon last weekend.
Claire travelled to and from Devon in one night. That woman is crazy.
Wow. God, that's saying something, Claire.
Friday.
Yeah, and she's doing it next week as well. She's a crazy woman.
So what are you doing when you go to Bodmin? Are you staying over?
I am. I'm keeping on Claire's sofa.
Oh dear. You'll be doing the Jamaica Inn next.
Well, it's kind of one of these scenarios that with having Claire down south, it does open a few more possibilities to do a few more southern venues. Now, we always do the whole of the UK, but it's how often we can do them. Having Claire further down that way really does open up a lot of possibilities for us. So I'm really excited about what this year's got to hold for us.
Yeah.
It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. And as I say, some of the locations we've got lined up are out of this world. And the one I'm most excited about, and I don't know why, it's Sheffield Fire and Police Museum. It's happening on the 27th. It's huge. You've been there before, haven't you, Steve?
Yeah.
So you know how active that place is.
Mm-hmm.
And
Claire just said that he's sleeping in the church house. She lives in the Methodist chapel.
Ooh.
Yeah, Claire actually lives in a converted church. With all the spooky effects and everything. So,
anyone more dedicated to paranormal?
Yeah. Claire's probably one of the most dedicated paranormal investigators we've ever met. So,
but what drives you though, John?
What drives me? It's my passion.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been really ill over recent months, and it would have been quite easy to say, right, that's it. I'm literally done with the industry. It's kind of too much for me.
I know how that feels with a stroke.
But exactly, and you've been through exactly the same scenario. And you know how it persuades you. But then I look at the public. We've got some really loyal regular guests that we absolutely love working with. And I was getting contacted by some of my regular guests begging me not to stop. And it was kind of these scenarios. It's kind of, do I put my health first or do I put the company first? So I had to make a decision. So as you know, I always worked a full-time day job, and then I ran UK Paranormal, all at the same time as having this condition. Now, the scenario is, luckily, UK Paranormal has grown enough for me to class this as my full-time job now. So I am actually working full-time on UK Paranormal with Claire, which gives me a lot more time to concentrate, and it's where my passions lie. Yeah. But it's not just all events that we're doing. So me and Kirsty are also doing psychic parties in people's houses. We're pretty
not paranormal parties.
Not paranormal parties. We don't agree with paranormal parties.
No, you're on about mediumship and tarot and stuff like that, yeah?
Yeah, certainly. So we just go in. We've been doing quite a few, actually. We've had some fantastic feedback from it. And what we do is we go in, we ask for around 10 guests. And then what we do is we give each person a reading. But then we also do a little bit of a platform show for these people. And, try and give them as much information as they require. And again, it's just building the UK Paranormal name up a little bit.
The last one we did was fantastic. Kirsty and John were doing readings for 2 ladies, and I was in the room with the rest of them, and we got the ghost box out, and we actually got this woman's mother talking to her on the ghost box. And I think ghost box is a bit temperamental myself, but we got her date of birth through, we got her name through just to verify it, and she got loads of answers, and it was nice for a change to help people with good spirits rather than going to these haunted places and finding all the bad spirits. It was nice to help people for a change. It was lovely.
I don't know. How do you cope with private ones? How do you cope if you find out that there isn't nothing there?
We have to do it on a scientific level. So purely if we get a report, 9 out of 10 times we go to someone's house, it can be explained away. Now, the good thing is we're all kind of very, we've got different skills. So although I'm very spiritual, I'm an IT guy, as you know, but I'm also a qualified electrician. So I can do tests for EMF or other factors that may be, creating an effect of paranormal activity. Flashing lights. Darren's also a qualified plumber, so he can, see the taps and the banging noises and kind of look at it. And Kelly is very psychological, so she'll talk to the people and work out whether, is there an underlying psychological issue that may be causing these paranormal activities.
You'll find a lot with these sort of things. I don't know if one causes the other or the other causes the other, but depression and paranormal in people's houses seems to go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
So I help with that a lot, to help them come to terms with it and figure out what we can do to help them.
Yeah. So
what advice would you give to somebody who thought that their house was haunted?
Don't be obsessed by it.
Yeah, people become obsessed. And I understand. Now, it's quite easy for us to say this because we are in a paranormal industry and we're quite fueled by seeing activity. So in someone's house, I can imagine how scary it is. But then some people will look for everything that happens in the house and blame it on the paranormal. Yeah. For instance. Now, I would say 99 times out of 100, there's always a scientific explanation for it. I'm a medium, and that's coming from a medium saying this. So we have to give proof. So when we do go to a house, we do operate on a very taps level. So we'll take our KTs, we'll take our thermal imaging cameras, full spectrum cameras, all the techie stuff, and we will capture evidence. We can't just go in and have a medium say, "Yep, you've got a spirit here." If we can capture evidence, then we can start building a story and try and work on a solution. Most of the time, as I say, we usually find an alternate explanation. But again, that puts people at ease because then they know they're not going crazy. So, for instance, if we do have high EMF, as everybody knows, it will cause it could cause nausea, hallucination, disorientation, and also make people believe that they really have paranormal activity. There's also a theory called the funhouse effect, whereas A floor in a house is kind of not level and the walls are not level, again, it causes exactly the same scenarios as EMF. So we kind of go through all these channels of possibilities before we even start looking for paranormal activity. Now, there has been occurrences where we have seen paranormal activity in houses. And what we've done is we've backed it with evidence first, and then we've dealt with it on a more spiritual level after. What we say to people is the best way to clear a house is for the house owner to stand up and say, "You are not welcome anymore. Go away. You are scaring me." They've got to try and take control of their own houses. And a lot of time it does work. It really does.
And now you say you're a medium.
Of course.
How long have you been a medium?
Extra large.
Yeah, extra large. As long as I can remember.
Who said you was a medium?
And who said you was a medium? No. How long have you been contacting spirit, and how did it all start?
Well, it's quite weird, as you know, there's different types of mediums. You have your developed mediums who've been to development circles, or you have your natural mediums that are just born with a gift as such. I started seeing when I was very young, but thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
And I carried on thinking I was crazy all the way up into my late teens.
Yeah.
And it weren't until I started working in the paranormal industry and met like-minded people that I kind of understood that I had a gift. So I'm a seer. Okay, so I do sense, but I actually see spirits with my eyes, which is quite, so you can imagine growing up seeing things out the corner of my eye and thinking someone's trying to talk to me. I thought I was crazy. I really did. So I kind of learnt about it, developed a little bit, and I took advice from the experts, and I built it from there. And I believe that the gift has developed more and more every time. So I'm able to do a lot more. I'm getting a lot more images in my head on a psychic level, because there's a big difference between a medium and a psychic.
Yeah.
A medium can communicate and talk to intelligent spirits, whereas a psychic will have images or be able to pick up information about a place or guess stuff about a certain character. But I believe that every medium has an element of psychic, and every psychic has an element of being a medium as well. And I've started, and it's more recently, I've started seeing images in my head now, and it's kind of like an anagram. I'll give you an example. We was at a location on Friday, and I got there was a name that came through, and it was, the name was Nudygate. Okay, now I saw this in two ways in my mind. First thing, I saw someone saying, "Oh, that person's in the nudie." Okay, I don't know how it came to me.
Yeah.
And then I saw a garden gate. So I put the two together, and then we did the research on the property after, and Nudygates were the family that actually, built this property. So, although I am a seer, I started getting stuff on a lot more on a psychic level as well, and that's what I've always wanted. But then, we've always said that Kelly's in the middle ground of being scientific and spiritual. But Kelly's a lot more psychic than I am, even though I'm a medium. Kelly
I'm a bit of a perfectionist, though. I'll not say I can until I get 100% right every time.
Kelly will never.
Skeptic medium, a skeptic psychic, yeah.
Absolutely. But Kelly, but then again, we've got Kirsty, who's working for us now. And I told you about the new girl we took a while ago. Kirsty is extremely psychic, more than I've ever seen on any person. But she's also developing her medium skills as well. We've got Claire, who is also very psychic. She can pick up an awful amount of stuff. But we have to balance it out with the scientific. So I am pretty much someone who I will sit there quiet unless I'm needed. And I will give input into an investigation. But I'm not a person who will go around telling you everything I feel all night. I'm there to assist the guests and the scientific team. It's not all about the medium, which is a mistake a lot of people make. Yes. So it's the way that we kind of operate in at the moment. As I say, we've taken on more and more scientific and techie people. There's always vacancies for scientific people in our team, and it's purely just because we want to prove the existence. That's the whole point about what we do. It's proving paranormal existence.
You can have personal experiences, but there's nothing better than a good piece of evidence.
No, this is it. Yeah, most of the people get their own personal experience on these things, but it's good to clarify it, isn't it?
Because
I think, especially if you're new to it, you come away and you start questioning yourself. If they've got something to back that up and think, well, that's the way that can be faked, then
absolutely,
that's how they get hooked.
Yeah, and that's where Kelly is an EVP specialist. I've never known anybody capture EVPs to the quality that Kelly gets. And you know what she uses? Do you know the best paranormal tool that she uses?
Go on.
Forget your 500 quid EVP recorders. She uses an iPod Touch. Okay.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it gets better evidence than we've ever seen on the expensive EVPs. and some of the EVPs Kelly's got are unquestionable, and a lot can be found on our Facebook page and on our website. It's a lot of validation as well to what the mediums are picking up.
Still got to cut down the ones from last weekend. I'll put them on the Facebook. They're really good.
Yeah, we got some amazing ones from last weekend, which Kelly will be popping up soon. Yeah, spine shivering stuff. But so Kelly's kind of an EVP specialist, and then we have Chris, who's looking to be more of a visual specialist. So where he wants to look at, he's more of the visual side of it. He wants to capture an image of a spirit. He wants to create apparatus that can actually, give a spirit the energy to manifest in front of everybody. So again, he's working on a project at the moment. He don't want to talk too much about it. He's using plasma. Which in his mind he's worked out that he might be able to create a full body apparition image of a spirit that's there. So fair credit to the guy. He's really did his research. But then you have Darren, and Darren operates more on a ghost box level. So Darren loves using the spirit box. It's his favourite tool. But again, he'll go around first with his KT meter and everything else. But then when he does make contact with a spirit, he loves the ghost box. So we've all got our own favourite pieces of kit to use on an investigation.
I've never really thought much about ghost boxes, but last few times we've used it, we've had some really good evidence come through. When you can get dates and names so you can make sure it's not a channel coming through, then you can trust it then.
Talking about dates and names and that, there's a thing about the glass divination, yes, no, and obviously the Ouija board, yeah? Now, I remember when we came to the Galleries of Justice, one woman didn't want to touch it. She didn't want to be in the building.
Yes.
Remember that?
I do, yes.
But as I say, what's your experience with the Ouija board? Do you believe it's just a tool?
It is. I mean, we have it every event. Is we have to explain at the beginning of the evening what a Ouija board is and how it was invented. Now, I do understand people's fears, and what we've got to think is Hollywood's to blame for this. So back in 1956, a famous toy company called Hasbro invented the Ouija spirit board. Now,
you sell it in Toys R Us in America.
Yes, it's sold in Toys R Us, and it was a tool. It was a toy for children. Now, the way I say, I mean, people think it's opening a vortex to.
Don't get me wrong, I think it can be used wrong.
Yeah, it's same as any tool.
Same
as any tool, though. So, for instance, if you're any way that you're communicating with a spirit, you've got to do it in a respectful manner. You could cause the same damage with a table or glass divination or even mirror scrying. So, for instance, you're asking a spirit to move an object, okay, whether it be a table, whether it be a stone that they throw, or anything else, and all they're doing is moving an object to spell out for you. It's not opening a portal, in my opinion. I've seen how spirits actually use a Ouija board, and it's quite interesting to look at for being a medium. You can sit there and watch a spirit with his finger on the planchette, which is quite interesting. I like the Ouija board because although people think it's very easy to fake a Ouija board, now I've got a theory behind this, and so has Kelly. So, if we've got 5 people on a planchette around a large Ouija board, and we're spelling a particular name out that's coming across, each person would have to know which way the other one's going to push the planchette for it to be fake, for instance. So if not, they're all going to be pushing against each other. So the Ouija board gives itself credibility purely because people in different directions would all have to be psychic and know what each other is thinking to be able to spell out a certain word or a character.
Plus, for Ouija boards, we always try and get a first name and a surname, the day they were born, the date that they died, and we can look that up after.
Yeah, certainly.
It's not things that these people would have known going into that.
So, I really think it's a big hype, but I do understand people's fear. and we will never make anyone use a Ouija board on our events. If they're not comfortable with it, that's fine. There's lots of other techniques we have for communicating with spirits, but we would always try and explain the scenario before anyone try to use it.
I think 9 times out of 10 when you've explained it and they've seen people using it and realise the world hasn't fallen apart, I think most of them do use it. I think the lady used it. Like, we've ever had a guest blank out refuse, but obviously we don't encourage them, we just explain so they're not scared of it, and nobody I know has refused blank out to use it.
But then look at the other aspect as well. I would never say to anybody, use a Ouija board in your own home.
No.
But I would never say to anybody, do table tipping in your own home, or glass divination, or even calling out to spirits, because any way you try and communicate with a spirit, you're inviting it into your home.
Yes.
So again, yes, a Ouija board can be very dangerous used in a home, but it's only the same as using any kind of communication technique. It's all dangerous.
Sorry, so protect yourself before you start investigating, close yourself down. Using a Ouija board, take it to goodbye and turn it upside down. Whether that's a load of crap, I don't know, but that's what we do to make sure that everybody's safe.
Absolutely.
Now, Steve and Claire have been having their own conversation on the chat room. And Claire says that she doesn't keep her equipment in the house.
Yes.
Do you have the same premise on that?
I do keep the equipment in the house, only because I live in a dodgy area where my car gets
So do you do anything with it just to, I don't know. No.
We would never do it in a house. I've got a young child. The last thing we want to do, my little boy, he doesn't even know what we do. He doesn't know anything about the spiritual aspect of it. Although, I did catch him speaking to a spirit, which kind of confused me. But no, not in a house. We do keep equipment in the house. It's fine, because we're not calling upon spirits or inviting them in.
No.
You generally find as well, when you've got a medium in a house, spirits don't want to go there. I mean, you imagine, right, you're a free spirit that can roam the earth. You can go wherever you want. You've got free will to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You're totally invisible to people. And then you walk in a house and somebody can see you. That would scare the crap out of you if you're a spirit.
Definitely.
So you generally find as soon as they know that you can see them, that's it. Goodbye.
Yeah, because the people tend to say that if you're a medium, then you're a beacon and they come to you anyway.
Yeah, no. You're like a white light for them to draw to.
It depends,
are we saying this is just the ones that want help?
Pardon?
You can let the spirit take over your life. Spirit can take over your life, and it's, for instance, I have to say no, and I have to push away. I have to be quite rude sometimes, because if not, I would have no life for myself.
No.
But people, I'd be getting carted away in a white van. So I have to say no, and I have to be quite rude with it as well when it's in my own home and in my own time. I choose when I'm working. Is the way I look at it now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as advanced as yourself in the mediumship field, but when I get it at home, I just go, I know you're there, goodbye.
Exactly.
And I just carry on with what I'm doing.
Exactly. We had one incident, and it was quite an interesting one, and it happened about a year ago. And Kelly, she was out doing a day job, and she rang me earlier in the day, and she says, you know what, I feel really low. And I'm like, dude, you got any reason for it? She says, I don't know. And she came in, she came straight in the house and says, I'm just going to go and have a bath. So she walked straight upstairs. A few seconds later, a spirit followed her in. And I said, what the are you doing in my house? Right? This spirit literally didn't realise what was happening and went. It fled. So, and then Kelly started feeling instantly better.
Yeah.
So, as we know about spirits drawing on your energy, especially someone like Kelly who's quite spiritual and has a good energy around her anyway, it's quite attractive to spirits. So, but it was obviously dragging her down. And obviously she knew something was wrong, but she couldn't see the spirit to say, well, following me. And then as soon as I saw it, it was a scenario where it did come home with her, and it did follow her. So I did have to say, go, leave her alone. And it was just fine. So we do have instances where people pop through. Again, I know when I leave my body, I'm going to be the nebbiest spirit on earth. I'm going to go nebbying through people's houses. I'm going to be so nosy, it's unreal. And you can't fault spirits for that. We'd all do it. It's human and spiritual instinct.
going back to the Ouija board, I think in some circumstances people get on the Ouija board, you're going to die, I'm the devil. And I always say to people, if you were dead, looking down on a load of wallies on a Ouija board, you'd want to wind them up, wouldn't you? I would.
Well, know me. I'd be there and as a spirit, and I'd be saying yes. I'd be trying to scare everybody just for my own pleasure and humour. So I think that's what me and Kelly's always said, that please don't always think that it is what they say on the board. It's literally just someone maybe having a bit of fun, having a laugh. The good thing is we've got mediums there to back up and explain a little bit.
Well, this is it. So basically, what's your next investigation?
So we've got Sheffield next. So we did a few privates and a couple of corporate ones first. And then we've got Sheffield Fire and Police Museum on the 27th of July.
Yeah.
Again, we've got a very special lineup that evening. We've got some hidden investigation tricks that we're going to be using, stuff we've not used before. Darren's setting up some unique trigger objects that will have static cameras on them all night, which we've had very good success with this before.
I think we could do with some fire alarm sirens for ear cues as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We like doing the Singapore effect. Like, so if you're in an old ballroom and you want to get activity, you'll start playing ballroom music and stop it. Kind of. Kelly's quite keen on the Singapore effect, so we will start having fire alarms going off through the laptop speakers. And then it'll be instant silence with the EVPs and the cameras going just to see if we can capture evidence. But this is the thing, we let our guests do all this. They're in charge of the equipment. We're just there to guide them, which is a lot more interesting. If a guest comes along and witnesses some activity on a ghost hunt, they've always got in the back of their mind, did the team do that? But if the guests are the ones using the equipment and the guests are the ones that's captured that evidence, it's unquestionable and they have the night of their life.
Well, this is it. This is the way we work as well.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, they're paying for the night, aren't they? They don't want to sit and watch you doing it. So, you know.
But you may as well sit at home and watch taps.
Yes, definitely.
It's the same scenario. So I hope you and Steve will be joining us soon. Anyway, you're obviously welcome to come down to Sheffield if you get a chance.
Sheffield I can't do.
Oh, dear.
Again.
Oh, no. We've got lots coming up there.
We'll have a look on there, but that 5th of October looks interesting.
Yeah,
it's going to be.
The fish and chips.
Yeah, we are available for that.
What we're saying as well, we've hired so many rooms in the hotel, so the most haunted rooms.
Yeah.
And each room has about 5 or 6 beds in it.
Yeah.
So what we're saying to guests is, on a first come first served basis, they have to sleep the night in the haunted rooms.
Well, you're not to bed early because you want to investigate it.
Yeah, so we want to investigate. So the night actually goes on till 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Investigation. But then those who are lucky enough to have booked first will get to stay in the haunted rooms free of charge. And basically we'll carry on the investigation until morning. Or if you're brave enough, you can get some sleep. I know I won't be sleeping.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a very, and Station Hotel is very under investigated nowadays. It used to be quite a popular venue, but I think people were just spending the time in the haunted rooms, and it kind of took the value of the cellars away as well. So we kind of got the whole location, and we're really, really excited about it.
I want to spend some time on the staircase this time as well, because I think, didn't someone die on the staircase?
Yeah, that's right.
Big, grand, swirly staircase.
Yeah. So that'll be.
So more will be added to your site then, will they?
Yeah, we've got about 9 events on there at the moment. We've got some good ones coming up. We're also trying to get back to Carnfield soon. As you know, I love that place.
Yeah.
And
you're not dear either. You know, even though you call yourself a company, you're not dear.
We are actually one of the cheapest out there.
We're not in it to make money, as long as we cover his costs. That's all we're worried about.
Well, this is it.
I make my living from being a medium. You know, I do my meetings and I do my parties. Most of the time on events it pays for kit. If you think we've got 8 team members, so each person, we have to pay for the petrol, we have to put them in a hotel room for the night, we have to feed them, obviously they have other expenses, and then we have to pay for the location, and most locations are around the ground.
I get fed and put up for the night instead of out the drive home.
We have insurance to pay for.
Yes.
We have everything.
Batteries galore.
Batteries. People forget about batteries, biscuits, coffee.
Yeah.
And Kelly likes to make her extra special cakes and make soup for people and stuff.
It soon adds up, doesn't it?
It does. So we kind of stick it realistically. We are one of the cheapest around, but it's why we keep getting repeat customers, and hopefully we're going to keep it that way.
Definitely. So, well, as I say, send me a list of places that you would like to invite me to, and I'll if I can get to one of them, I definitely will.
You're welcome to any of them. But you do realise we'll get you working.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Just like we did at the galleries.
That's not a problem. You know me, I don't mind. So that's what it's about, helping each other. So that's definitely what it's about, helping each other.
Claire was just saying she had a bathroom door open when she stayed at the station hotel before she was a paranormal investigator.
Really?
And she hid under the covers.
We had one of the most frightening experiences we've ever had there. And Kelly, as I say, I've seen Kelly. Kelly's been face to face with spirits before, and she's laughed in the face. But on this one, she sobbed and ran.
I didn't run.
Well, you would have done if you could have got away.
We were in the bedrooms, and there was a bed in the corner across from us, and there was a shadow spirit with its knees up at its chest. And then it was sat on the edge of the bed, and then it got on the floor and started crawling on all fours, and that's what freaked me out.
Started crawling towards us.
Face to face is fine, but crawling was too freaky. It creeped me out, that one.
I don't know. But, well, thanks for coming on the show anyway, John.
Kelly. Appreciate it.
And as I say, don't be a stranger.
We won't.
All right. See you soon. And don't forget, you can put your stuff on Paranormal Events for You.
Oh, we will. Yes, definitely.
Yes, like you used to.
I'll tell you the truth, it's time at the moment, but I will definitely do it.
Yeah, no problem.
Claire, you can do that.
Yeah, Claire, you can do that.
And it is free.
Yeah, don't forget it is free. Just don't put your prices. So, well, thanks again, John. Okay, both of you, and hopefully we'll speak soon.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Take care.
Right, take care. All the best.
You're welcome. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that was John and Kelly from UK Paranormal. I didn't want to say the other one, I just said the other one then. And we had Claire in the chat room as well. So hopefully they won't go away and they're still listening, because we've in a moment, after we've heard a word from our sponsor, we've got a young lady coming on called Rosemary Ellen Guiley. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And if not, she's going to correct me in a moment. And we're talking about the Djinn and the fact that it could be the main reason why we're getting all these sightings and stuff. It's this mischievous person that's doing it all, UFOs and everything. Well, we'll see what happens. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a break and hear a word from our sponsor. Thank you.
And now, here's a word from our sponsor.
Finally, the #1 weight loss and fitness challenge in North America is coming to the UK. Don't miss your chance to be the first Brits to be a part of it. Be honest, right now you probably want to lose some weight, live a healthier, more active lifestyle, or get in better shape. We're here to challenge you to make your health a priority with the new Body by Vi 90-day challenge.
My favorite thing about the challenge was just losing the weight. Got my life back, that's it.
Now we've gone from being couch potatoes to being, fit athletes, working out, strength training every single day. It's changed our whole lifestyle.
Let's be real. You don't have to look far to see we have a problem. A growing problem. With today's work demands and faster-paced lifestyle driving us toward quick fixes, it's no secret how we got here. Finally, something that's simple, affordable, fun, tastes amazing, and most importantly, it works. The Body by Vi Challenge is the solution you've been searching for. The challenge is North America's #1 90-day platform for weight loss and fitness results. To date, over 500 million Vi shakes have been served to millions of people who have already lost millions of pounds, making the challenge the fastest growing weight loss and fitness movement in North America today. Powered by a line of innovative wellness products from Vi, the Body by Vi Challenge is coming to the UK. The perfect way to start a lasting health transformation. And by simply selecting a kit, you have access to all the resources you need to succeed. So, set your goal, select your kids, enter to win. Be the first in the UK to be on the challenge. There is no better time than now to start making your health a priority. So why not start losing weight, getting fit, saving money, and having fun? Guaranteed. Are you up for the new Body by Vi challenge?
The one phone call that I made to try to join the challenge to lose weight has changed every aspect of our life.
Yeah, welcome back to the show. Hope you're still there with us.
You're in the right place. Online, on the web, and on air. All over the world.
Yeah, we were just listening to John, Harris and Kelly over there at UK Paranormal, and they were telling us about what they've got coming up, and what they've been doing. Claire's still there. Hopefully we'll have a few more people in, and don't forget we're going to be talking to Rosemary in a moment, and if you have any questions, then please put them forward to us, and we'll ask her the questions for you. Okay, and hopefully we can find out what she feels is going on. So I'm going to see whether I'll let her know that we'll come and see her in about 5 minutes time. Okay, so and what we'll do is I think what we'll do is we'll go straight into the paranormal events for you, shall we? Get them out the way, because I think this is going to be a long conversation. So Mr. Muggles? Who's Mr. Muggles?
I don't know. He just said that.
Oh, right. Okay, so we'll go into the events, and then we'll come back and speak to Rosemary.
We've got all the news right here. Don't go away.
Fed up of wading through the activities and events that other advertisers include? Find just what you're looking for at paranormaleventsforyou.com, your one-stop paranormal directory.
On the 29th of June, Beyond the Grave tours are going to Harwich Redoubt Fort, Harwich. Also on the 29th, Wasp Paranormal are doing a charity ghost hunt in aid of Help the Heroes at the Royal Gunpowder Mills, Walton Abbey. On the 26th of July, Grave Encounters are doing a ghost hunt and supper at the Skirrid Inn in Wales. Also on the 26th, Twilight Paranormal are going to Alton Towers in Staffordshire. On the 27th of July, Haunted Places Paranormal are going to Kelverton Hatch in Brentwood. On the 9th of August, Wasp Paranormal UK are going to Kelverton Hatch in Brentwood. On the 10th of August, Twilight Paranormal are going to Thackeray Medical Museum in Leeds. On the 17th of August, UK Shadow Seekers are going to York Castle Museum in York. On the weekend of the 24th of August, there's a Mind, Body and Spirit Fair at Elfcar in Barnsley. On the weekend of the 31st of August, there's a Mind, Body and Spirit Fair at Godmanchester in Cambridgeshire.
So check out the one-stop paranormal directory for more investigations and events, available now. Paranormaleventsforyou.com also offers banner advertising for only £10 per year. See our website for more details. Paranormaleventsforyou.com, your one-stop paranormal directory.
Go.
Yeah, hi. We're back. It's all right. Somebody just said they tried to ring me, but it's not coming up. Oh, you stalk me all the time. Tim, is that you? Is that you, Tim? Yes. Oh, right. Okay. Well, nice to see you in the chat room. And let me just say that some people are getting on the main website for KTPF. Some are actually at live stream. So hopefully I don't know what's going on there, to be honest with you. Let me know when you can. Let me know when it works.
Oh, you're talking.
Yeah, she just said she's got no video, just audio. So, but we don't need video really. I've just been checking your site. Seems like some weird DNS issue. Okay.
At least they know.
At least you know what it is. I'm on the site. Right, okay. So, well, I'll probably be off the show in about an hour, so I'm hoping that we can talk then, Mr. Muggles. Right. Let me just... Right, we're going to call this lady up now. This is our guest for tonight from America. Miss Rosemary Guiley. I hope that's how you pronounce it. So, she's going to correct me in a moment. Okay. Hello.
Hi there. Is this Suzanne?
Hi, Rosemary. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing very well. Thank you.
Oh, good. Can you please tell the people in the chat room your name? I hope I haven't got it wrong. Can you pronounce it for us, please?
It's Guiley. Rosemary Ellen Guiley.
Right, okay. Welcome to the show. First of all, can you tell us a bit about yourself, Rosemary?
Yes, I'm a paranormal researcher and investigator and author. I've been working full-time in the field for 30 years now. And I started out with an interest in ghost hunting. In fact, I'm a lifetime member of the Ghost Club of London. I have a lot of friends in that community. And my paranormal interest just spread very far and wide, to the point where I've done over 50 books now on everything A to Z, literally, angels to zombies and everything in between. I keep track of UFOs, mysterious creatures, angels, fairies, mystical experiences, demons, all kinds of things paranormal. They all relate together. And I teach classes, give lectures, and I'm always investigating. The book, The Djinn Connection, and I believe we're going to be talking more about the Djinn this evening. That was an outgrowth of a lot of my research into haunting cases that seem to be very difficult to deal with. What I call persistent negative hauntings that never seemed to be able to resolve no matter what solutions were applied. And I had been interested in the Djinn for quite a long time. I had read about them for years, of course. And when I realized that they are participating in all of our paranormal experiences, including our hauntings, a lot of things started to make sense. So that's really where I'm at today, is looking for more evidence of their involvement with us and what they're doing and why.
Right, well, just to give people an idea of who you are or what you've been, your past positions are held. You were a columnist for Tax Para magazine.
I'm a former columnist, yes. For some time, I did a column for the official magazine of the Ghost Hunters show, and I'm also a consulting editor of Fate magazine. I've had positions on the board in the International Association for the Study of Dreams, and for an organization that's now called, it's had different names in the past, it's now called the Academy of Consciousness Studies, and that looks into a lot of metaphysical areas. So I've been active in on many fronts. I study near-death experiences and the dreams, as I mentioned. Dreams are a very important gateway into the unknown. I consult with a lot of paranormal groups. I don't have a group. I like to be independent. But I consult with people literally all over the world on their cases and experiences.
So this Djinn, now we've heard a bit about the Djinn. That I'll hand it over to Steve, and he can because he's learnt more about this than I have, to be honest with you.
Well, to be honest, we used to go for a nice curry, and one of the waiters used to try and teach us about their side of things. And he was telling us that the Djinn are made of like pure fire, and that originally there was 12 of the Djinn that actually stayed and studied under Muhammad, and the rest obviously went their own way. But he was telling us that there's no such thing as ghost. It's the Djinn that's making us think who we're seeing is relatives and things.
Is this the theory that you've got?
There are variations of that same theory, yes. The theories are essentially the same, and sometimes the details are a bit different. But the Quran explains the Jinn as being made of smokeless fire, and that they existed with the angels. They weren't the equivalent of angels, but they had access to heaven, and they trafficked with the angels. And when the story that's told in the Quran is that when God decided to make human beings, he instructed the angels to bow down before Adam. But Iblis, who was the leader of the Jinn and who was in heaven with the angels, refused because he felt that human beings were inferior to the Jinn. And so the Jinn then were cast out. And they were granted until Judgment Day to make their case. And so the evil ones have followed Iblis and are dedicated to tormenting and harassing human beings. There are good Jinn. Just like human beings, the Jinn have a variety of dispositions and temperaments and intentions, and some of them convert to the faith, some of them follow other faiths, some of them have no faith. The Quran is preached to them as well as to human beings. I do believe that they are players, significant players, in all of our entity contact experiences, from ghosts to fairies to unknown entities to demons to extraterrestrials. They are masterful shapeshifters. In fact, nobody really knows what the true form of the Jinn is. How do you embody smokeless fire? And in the pre-Quranic legends about the Jinn, before Islam came into being, they were said to be made out of the wind. Again, something very formless. But they've always been known for their shape-shifting ability and for their hostility toward human beings. It seems that the ones who are engaging with us and interacting with us are the hostile ones. And they have found many ways to create problems for us. So I have indeed revised my own feelings about ghosts over the years. That most of what we call hauntings, if the phenomena aren't interactive, that is, the footsteps that are always in the same corridor, the cold spot in the room, the sounds that are always in the same part of the house, these are probably due to residues that are left behind. But when we have something more interactive, a spirit who seems to watch us and actively look for ways to get our attention, that's probably something else. And the Jinn can take on the guise of human ghosts, make us think that we're dealing with something else, when in fact we're really dealing with them.
So what made you start all this? I may I ask, are you a Muslim yourself?
I'm not. I was raised a Methodist. In the course of my work, I have always studied cross-cultural and cross-religious inquiries, because all of these paths address the same things from different perspectives. And we find the same stories, the same legends, and similar perspectives with, of course, the the added perspective of different, each unique religion and even tradition, spiritual tradition. I've always been interested in the paranormal since I was a little kid, and members of my family, including myself, had experiences. I believe that all people do, and especially children do. It's not unusual for children to have invisible playmates, to occasionally see dead family members, to have other kinds of experiences. For many adults, or many people, as we become adults, these experiences fade into the background. And for me, they remained in the foreground, and I was intensely curious about them. So I also have a journalistic background, and I'm naturally curious about everything. So I've always looked at a big picture. It's been evident to me from the beginning of my research that all of these things are interconnected in strange ways, and we need to pull back and see a big picture if we're going to have any hope of understanding it at all. So I've never gone down the path of just choosing to specialize in any one area. Well, I became acquainted with the Djinn actually through magic, and I was researching magic and witchcraft and sorcery for a book in the 1980s and started reading about the Djinn. There really wasn't much published about them for an English-speaking market back then. And I didn't even realize until that time that these were the beings responsible for our concepts of the genie in the bottle. That genie is a derivative of, actually a corruption of the name Djinn, which is spelled both D-J-I-N-N and J-I-N-N, and it means the hidden ones. And of course, we're all familiar in the West with the folk tales of the genie in the bottle. And curiously, these genies are often portrayed in our culture through our fiction and our film and television as kind of silly beings, something that you couldn't possibly think were real. They come out of a bottle and supposedly grant wishes and usually wreak havoc in some way. But they are very real. The entity behind those legends is very real and capable of interacting with us in supernatural ways, oftentimes well below our radar. We don't really know what we're dealing with. If we think it's anything supernatural at all, we look for explanations that are more familiar to us: the ghost, the fairy, the demon.
Now, being paranormal investigators ourselves, we go to alleged haunted places, and obviously they're supposed to be haunted by the people that frequented there or lived there or anything like that. So what you're saying is that these Djinn that are actually fooling us. We're not getting, say for instance, I don't know, Radcliffe from Aldsall Hall. We're getting somebody that's fooling us.
It might very well be the case, and sometimes it's difficult to know exactly what you're dealing with until you've had a chance to observe it for a while. I've been specializing in these negative cases now for some time, but I've done quite a bit of paranormal investigations of all kinds. And I think that we're dealing with combinations of things. There's residues left by the dead. There are earthbound souls, for example, that still linger. And there are spirits, and spirits who want to fool us by acting like ghosts. And we also have thought forms that we're dealing with, which can acquire personalities and animation. And of course, investigators energize those things as well. When we go in and investigate, we're putting energy into an environment that is capable of responding back.
Now, in your book, obviously, the title of your book is The Djinn Connection, the hidden links between the Djinn, shadow people, ETs, Nephilim, archons, reptilians, and other entities. Now, when it comes to ETs and extraterrestrials, how does that go about when you hear about alien abductions and stuff like that?
I discovered a very disturbing link between the Djinn and ET abductions a few years ago. I started researching a phenomenon called shadow people, and you probably run into them too. These are dark forms that have the shape of a human, but they're solid black. And they often look like tall men wearing coats and hats.
Yeah.
They're usually bedroom visitors, but they also lurk around in haunted places too. And they have the capability of absolutely terrifying people. They seem to throw off this very malevolent energy. Well, in 2004, I had received quite a few reports of these entities and people wanting to know what they were. So I decided to put together a formal research and investigation project to interview a lot of people and collect a lot of data. People were making the automatic assumption that these things were likely to be demons, and yet their behavior pattern, their modus operandi, didn't really strike me as demonic. And so shadow people led me to the abducting ETs. And I concluded that shadow people were a form taken by the Djinn, and that suits their the kinds of personalities we're dealing with. It suits their modus operandi, and enables them to remain hidden. They're just totally black. You don't know what they are, and they don't communicate very often as well. Aside from just seeming to watch people, they do attack people. They will take off the life force. People feel that they're having their life force, literally sucked off them. Sometimes rarely there would be sexual encounters, but oftentimes very aggressive physical assaults. I discovered that, and this was through voluntary description. People would send me their descriptions, and I started noticing that a lot of these experiencers were also ET abductees. More than I might expect from just, some people have a variety of experiences. They're just kind of psychically open. But this struck me as a very odd connection, and it kept repeating. So I broadened out my research project and looked more deeply into that, both by interviewing people and by researching the abduction literature. And I discovered that there's a very obvious link between shadow people and ET abductions. That many, but not all, abductees are visited first by shadow people before they have abductions. It's not in the same episode, but it seemed like the shadow people are forewarners or precursors to the abduction experience. So, of course, that link then made me wonder, are the Djinn actively involved in other aspects of the abduction phenomenon as well? Well, whenever you're dealing with these entities and subjective experiences, you have only the reports of eyewitnesses and experiencers to go on. This is a very murky area. And I then studied hundreds and hundreds of accounts looking for patterns, and could I find the same descriptions or some telltale evidence of something that would give the Djinn away. And in the Djinn Connection, I build that case where I found quite a bit of evidence for the presence of the Djinn in the abduction literature, going back to cases from the 1950s. But the thing is that Westerners, and including Western ufologists, we're not thinking about the Djinn. We don't even think to factor them into the equation, because most of us don't even know who they are. So how are you going to wonder whether or not they're involved if you don't realize who they are and how they can stay hidden? And there is quite a bit of evidence for the presence of the jinn in the abduction phenomenon. Whether or not they account for all abductions, or they're working in concert with other beings doing these, or even working against them with their own agendas in mind, nobody really knows yet. We don't even know what the full ramifications are of the abduction phenomenon, except for what experiencers tell us about being used to create hybrids.
Right. We've got a question for you in the chat room. Ghost Rider would like to know what your views are on premonitions. Just to expand that, do you feel as though people like mediums and psychics, when they're getting messages, they're being fooled as well?
It's a hazard, and that hazard has been acknowledged, for a very long time. And people develop different ways of validating their messages, their bona fides and whatnot. I really do strongly believe that we get genuine communications. Otherwise, we would have to discard everything, and that literally would paralyze us from pursuing any meaningful research and inquiry into the spirit world. That would be a serious mistake. But we do have masqueraders and entities who deceive us. Sooner or later, those deceptions come out, and I think that people who deal regularly in spirit communications learn how to discern the genuine from the fraudulent. They often give themselves away through the kinds of things they say, through communication that gradually deteriorates over time or becomes manipulative. But unfortunately, we have no universal guidelines and no universal ground rules in this area.
Right, Steve, you got some questions?
Yeah, two for you, really. First of all, I'd like to say it's something that's becoming very, very popular with being spotted, are what people call black-eyed people, black-eyed children. Do you think there's a connection there?
I do. The black-eyed children. We've been hearing more and more of these entities since, about the 1980s. Excuse me. And I have gotten reports of them myself, and I've also spoken at length with David Weatherly, who lives in the Southwest. He's out in Arizona, and he's written really the only definitive book to date on the subject, called Black-Eyed Children. And we've compared notes. I believe that the black-eyed children are yet another form taken by Djinn. And they seem to have multiple purposes in interacting with us. Some of them seem to want to just mess around with us, play tricks on us, aggravate us, scare us. It's almost for their own entertainment and amusement. Others seem to be more focused in their hostility. They are interested in harming human beings and in getting something off of us, like the life force. Others want to have romantic relationships with us. And some are more predatory. So, here again, just like human beings, there are different agendas and purposes going on. The black-eyed children seems to be a way for the Djinn to harass, terrorize, and trick people. And many of the people who've had contact with these forms also suffer health-wise. They feel a wasting away of health. They suffer some kind of injuries where contact has been made. Sometimes their lives start falling apart. These are patterns that also happen in Djinn cases and also in shadow people cases. So it seems to be just another way to distract us. We tend to think that all of these different forms that we see are different entities. Many of them may be just different shape-shifted versions of a single type of entity. The Djinn would be capable of doing that.
Okay.
Okay. The other one is, while you were writing your book on the Djinn, did you ever get the feeling that you were being dictated to as to what to put in it?
I never felt dictated, but I definitely had plenty of company while I was working on the book, and I had lots of problems. I had visitations, I had bedroom, the shadow people visitations. I had apports, things that would go missing, things that would break down. In general, over the course of my career, doing my work, I have felt very protected and guided by spiritual forces. Whenever you do this kind of work, you're going to attract the attention of negative entities as well as the benevolent ones. That's just a given. And at varying points, sometimes depending on the nature of the work you're doing, you have to engage with them. They will interfere in that. So I have had interferences. I do feel that I've been guided to look into certain areas, to meet people, to come across sources and other things that illuminate the research, especially in this area. It's very important for us to know who all the players are out there in the spirit world that we're dealing with, from the good to the bad. And many of these beings have ways of manipulating us without us really knowing it, and we need to know that too.
Yeah. Also, I suppose the big question is, do you have any solid evidence that the Djinn are actually doing this?
As always in the paranormal and dealings with the spirit world, the hard evidence is very hard to come by. And this is why scientists very easily dismiss all of this, because, you can't get somebody like the Djinn to materialize in front of you and sit down and give you an interview and be videotaped and thumbprinted, so to speak.
Oh, I wish.
Yeah, we all wish. So what we have to deal with is a body of evidence in support of something. It's very soft evidence. And people in parapsychology have to deal with this all the time. Evidence in support of something. And even the hard evidence that's accumulated, such as in cases of mediumship and apports and things like that, it's still argued and refuted by the scientific establishment. So what I do in my work, because for me the paranormal exists, it's existed since childhood, and so I'm really not trying to prove the paranormal, but what I do look at is the how and the why behind our experiences. What are the experiences that human beings share as common ground? And what is the documentation for those experiences throughout history, through our mythology, our folklore, case recordings, the written and oral evidence? And I look for patterns in those experiences. So when you can accumulate hundreds and hundreds of descriptions and find patterns that reach over time, that reach around the globe among people who've never spoken to each other or met or may not even know about such things in general, and the same things show up, it's very compelling to me that that this is evidence of some concrete interaction with the spirit world. So that really is the basis for all of these fields, for the paranormal, for the ghost hunting community, for the ufology community, for mysterious creatures, the cryptids researchers, even people who are on the more metaphysical side of things with the near-death experiences, mediumship and channeling. All of these things, really, from a scientific perspective, don't have a leg to stand on. Yet, clearly, human beings have been involved in these experiences for as long as we've had recorded history. So what I look for is the evidence that links all of this together. And at the very least, it helps people understand their experiences better, helps them deal with the problematic side of things. And hopefully we're all contributing knowledge and insight into these experiences that can help explain them. And maybe someday we will have that bridge between the subjective and the scientific, that we can make the two sides come together better.
Now, apart from the obvious, the Djinn and the shadow people, you also mentioned Nephilims and Archons. For our guests, could you explain what they actually are?
Yes, the Nephilim were the half-human, half-entity hybrids referenced very briefly in the Bible, but written about extensively in ex-canonical works. In Genesis, there is a very short reference to the sons of God, or the Watchers, who were assigned to watch over humanity and decided that human women looked pretty good, and they left their posts and cohabited with women and created these monstrous offspring called the Nephilim. The Nephilim were giants. They would have been, by our standards, over 37 feet high. And they were very corrupt. They were cannibalistic. They were flesh eaters. They were blood drinkers, and they spread lawlessness around the land. Now, the Bible doesn't tell us all of that, but the book of Enoch does. And the book of Enoch goes into quite a bit of detail about these watchers, who are sometimes described as angels. About 200 of them leave their watch posts and start all of this up. Well, the angels become very upset with this corruption, and they go to God and tell him what's going on, and he gets upset about this too, and decides to wipe everything out in the flood. And so that is the reason why we had the flood. But whether or not all of these Nephilim were destroyed is a matter of uncertainty, because there were subsequent references to giants in other books of the Bible. Well, one of the things that I argue in the Djinn Connection is, if the Djinn have been the hidden ones interacting with us, and they're interacting with us now, they've probably been doing it all along in hidden ways. And we need to reevaluate all of our stories about our involvement with ancient aliens and ancient beings and gods to look for the trademarks of the Djinn. The actions of the Watchers are the sons of God. And by the way, the Djinn were called God's other people as well. Just like the fairies are called God's other people. The actions of leaving their posts and cohabiting with human women would be very characteristic of the Djinn. And the Djinn have long been known as great deal makers. So in exchange for teaching the forbidden arts to humanity, they get sex. And these offspring, which have Djinn characteristics, then result. Now, giants over 37 feet tall would seem to be an impossibility given the gravity of the planet. But if they were not completely physical, not completely material, as Djinn would be, they could be any size they wanted to be. So I think it's very plausible that the Nephilim were half jinn and half human. The archons who come out of Gnosticism were false creator gods who also wanted to manipulate human beings for their own purposes. This is a characteristic that we find through jinn lore over and over again, the manipulation of human beings for their own purposes. And whether that purpose is amusement or the life force or blood sacrifice, it's always to the gain of the jinn and the loss of humanity. So these scenarios crop up over and over again in almost all of our dealings with powerful beings. Might they be jinn?
Right, okay. And so what do we need to know about these, and how should we respond?
Right now we have more questions than answers, and one of my purposes in writing the Djinn Connection, and that was preceded by the Vengeful Djinn a couple of years ago, which was just a basic introduction to Djinn, is to educate people that these are real entities who are involved with us in many ways, and we need to know more about them and not just dismiss them as superstition. In many parts of the world, especially the Middle Eastern world, the jinn are assumed to be players in the landscape. They're involved in all kinds of human affairs, for better or for worse. And we can't dismiss this as superstition. We have to realize that this is happening right in our own backyard.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've been researching at length is how do we confront this and combat it? People have varying degrees of trouble, from mild annoyances to serious disruptions of life and even life-threatening situations. I haven't yet found a single remedy that works in all cases all the time. There are lots of remedies that work in certain cases some of the time, but not all of the time. And that's very frustrating for a lot of people to deal with. I include a lot of those in the Djinn Connection. There's a chapter I have called Interdimensional Martial Arts, where I discuss some of the things that have worked for other people. They seem to be able to have the upper hand on us. And even if we gain the upper hand, at some point they can come back and seize the advantage again. Whether or not that's permanently the case, I would like to not think so, that we are sovereign in our own reality in the physical world. And at the very least, we might have to learn how to coexist with some of these entities who seem to have a very firm foothold in our landscape. But there's no good solutions right now, no good permanent solutions.
Right, okay. I've just been looking at your I think it's your website on the Djinn Universe, and you've covered quite a few topics there, haven't you, with your publications? Ghost hauntings and spirit communication, talking to the dead, Ouija boards, the witches, Book of the Dead, multi-dimensional portals. How did you get into this writing, to get into all this, covering quite a vast subject?
It is, and it's ever expanding in new directions, and it probably stems from my very early childhood interests and experiences, and my curiosity about wanting to know about everything as much as possible. And also, as I pursued my research and followed all of the research leads, you wind up realizing how interconnected things are, and that if you look in one particular direction, then, well, you've got to consider something that's related to it. I believe that the jinn, as well as other entities that we encounter, they come and go in our reality through multidimensional portals. These are thin spots between our dimension and parallel dimensions that all really have a connection to the Earth. They're land-based. They're tied to the Earth. And there are these entities living in these other dimensions that, because of the difference in vibrational qualities of these dimensions, we don't see them or interact with them on an ongoing basis, but we have these kind of openings and bleed-throughs. They seem to be able to come into our world more than we go into theirs at will, and I'm not sure why that is. I do have two websites, and one is visionaryliving.com. That's my main website, and a lot of the topics that I write on are on that website. I have quite a library of articles, and if anyone is interested in subscribing to my newsletter, I encourage that too, because I put my latest material in the newsletter, and it comes out once a month, and it's delivered via email. It's complimentary. The other website that you mentioned, the Djinn Universe, and that's DJINN universe.com, I set up 2 years ago as an educational website to publish and have discussions of things about the Djinn. And I have collected hundreds of testimonials and stories contributed from around the world from people who've had Djinn encounters. It's quite eye-opening and even hair-raising, some of these stories, and people have weighed in with their metaphysical views, their religious views. Some of the experiences, a small minority of them, are benign or benevolent. Most of them are negative, and some of them are quite terrifying. So I think it's a good place to go. It's a real eye-opener to, just get the gist of what the Djinn are and what they're doing with people.
Yeah, and you've done a lot of documentaries and docudramas and TV shows as well, or you've worked on them, including Supernatural.
Yes, I did. It was called The Extras for season 4 of Supernatural, which is a fabulous show. And they get into all these topics as well.
Yeah.
And the extras on the DVD set was a scenario built like Dante's Inferno and Paradiso, that his journeys through heaven and hell and Purgatorio. And they assembled some experts like me to talk about themes on the show and their basis in mythology and supernatural reality. Quite well done.
Yeah, definitely. You've definitely covered quite a lot in when did you start doing this writing and getting into it? There's definitely a lot there.
I started my writing career full-time 30 years ago.
Wow. You've done more than 50 books.
More than 50 books.
Yeah.
And
translated 15 languages. You've been full-time since 83. You've done encyclopaedias. It's wow. It's a lot.
Is writing something that comes easy to you?
Did you get that?
I didn't.
Is writing something that comes easy for you?
Oh, it is indeed. In fact, I often joke that I came out of the womb with a pencil in my hand. And I've been writing ever since I can remember. And I really enjoy writing. I feel very blessed, actually, to work full-time in subjects that really interest me, intrigue me, and enable me to pursue my art, which is writing. And so in spite of the harrowing circumstances I find myself in sometimes, it's been quite a ride. Never a dull day, that's for sure.
So is this your full-time thing, or is this something that you actually do apart from this?
It is my full-time work. I have a balance of research and writing, and I'm on the road a lot. I travel to give lectures and presentations. I maintain media appearances, a lot of radio shows, and mixed in with television and documentaries. So all of those things together, and then I'm constantly interviewing people, and I also consult with a lot of people. People, they have problems. They sometimes they just want to talk to someone who understands what they're going through, so they feel that they're not crazy. This is a very important aspect of all of this, that our very real engagements with the spirit world can be quite destabilizing and upsetting to people. And if they have no way of talking about those experiences and being taken seriously, then it actually adds to the whole burden. It adds to the stress. So I'm often consulting with people about their experiences and, looking for solutions. I consult with a lot of investigation teams on their cases. I conduct a lot of investigations myself, and some of them are long-term. They span years. I've had the good fortune of being able to follow some cases for a long period of time. And as you know from investigating yourself, sometimes you only have one or two opportunities to do an investigation.
So if anyone wanted to buy your books from your website, obviously being in England, is there a Kindle version?
Yes, many of my books are available on Kindle, and the Djinn Connection is available by Kindle. And if people order hard print, I send them out autographed, and I do ship all over the world.
Right. Okay. So if anyone's interested in them, just go to visionaryliving.com. I've put the website on the chat room. If you want to go and have a look, there's quite a few books there to choose from. So what's next for Rosemary? Have you got a book pending or thinking of starting at the moment?
I do. In fact, I'm usually working on several projects at once. This seems to be the nature of my research, probably because all things are interrelated and folded together. I'm working on another book about the Djinn, and this one will focus more on how they're engaged with people in where they seem to haunt places. I'm working on interdimensional portals and how the planet has many of these doorways and what those doorways are like. I have a book that I'm working on afterlife communications, especially through dreams. I've been interested in psychic dreaming since I was very small. So those and some other projects. I have a Ghosts and Hauntings book that I'm doing, and a lot of things going on right now. In fact, I could use a few doppelgangers.
And just out of curiosity, do you feel sensitive yourself?
Yes. I never considered myself to be, a wonderkind by any means. But like most children, I had visionary and psychic experiences. I think that this is part of childhood in general. In my family on my mother's side, my grandmother had psychic sensitivity. My mother did. She had a variety of encounters with good and bad kinds of beings. She had precognitive dreaming. And my sister has psychic sensitivity as well. So I think those things added to my interest in these areas. When you're small, when you're a kid and you have these experiences, you think everybody does. And as I got older, I realized everybody doesn't. And not only that, the people who do, their experiences are quite varied and different. So that has been a major factor in my research. As I got older then, I wanted to learn more about that, and also how to increase it. Instead of being a passive recipient of premonitions and precognitions and impressions, I wanted to be able to have it available more on demand. So I did quite a bit of training with psychics and sensitives. I did energy healing, and energy healing really helped me open up very fast. And I had been fascinated by the tarot, so I studied the tarot, I did readings, and all of these things have improved my own psychic sensitivity quite a bit over the years, and it's an asset for this kind of work, most definitely.
Right. Well, it's a very impressive resume you've got there, I must admit, Rosemary. Definitely.
Well, thank you.
I'd just like to say thank you for taking your time for talking to us.
Well, it's my pleasure, Suzanne, and I hope to visit with you again on your show.
Yes, definitely. You know, and when your next book comes out, come on and tell us all about it.
I certainly will. We'll stay in touch. And anyone out there in the audience, I get a lot of cases and inquiries from the UK, so I'm always interested in hearing from people.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll let everybody know. And as I say, if you want to join the KTPF on Facebook, then it's out there for you. I'll send you the link, and you're more than welcome to advertise on there. And we'll also put it on the website once it's sorted out. It's gone a bit AWOL today, unfortunately. A DNS problem, but it's all technicality to me. So, but yes, definitely, we'll definitely advertise you as much as we can.
Well, thank you, and I will join.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Rosemary. All the best to you for the future.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, good night.
Well, that was Rosemary, and Andy 707's just come in, which is a bit hard because I did say I was going to put her on at 9:30.
Yes, you did. You did definitely.
Just for him, and he wasn't here. And I don't know. So
it would have been very handy to ask some questions.
Yes, he would have done.
I mean, no disrespect to the lady, but I mean, she's making these links, and
sorry,
I don't see any actual.
There don't seem. She's saying that there's the Djinn is ETs. The Djinn's responsible for ghosts, Nephilim, or whatever it was, archons, reptilians, you know, even shadow people, and also alien abductions. You know, so as I say, it is.
It seems a bit of a leap.
It does, but she's done a hell of a lot of work and research, and she's, as I say, she's been connected to it and writing about it for many years. So, we've been having a problem with our website. If you've just joined us, I don't know how you've connected to us. Some have connected via the site. I can't even get to the site, so I don't know what's happened. I think we've been told there's a DNS problem somewhere along the line. So, as I say, Andy says that Nephilim predates the Djinn.
Come on. I got it.
What, did you get it? Oh, you got it?
It's just come up the show page.
Oh, right, okay. So, as I say, it is being worked on, and I still haven't got it. So, you know.
You always watch this by live stream.
Yeah. So, anyway, so it's worth listening back to, Andy, and telling us your thoughts on the KTPF page, if you wish. Okay. And what you think. It does, I must admit, being a ghost hunter, for want of a bad word, which I don't like, it does seem a little bit, is the word continuous or something like that?
It seems a bit too pat.
Yeah, the fact that
everything's down to the Djinn.
Everything's down to the Djinn. I know there's good and bad Djinn, and
it's like there's good and bad everything.
You know, like Steve said earlier, that shadow people have helped people. Premonitions have helped people.
Black-eyed people.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
she only mentioned the black-eyed children.
yeah,
The adults and all sorts, and although they seem very scary, they have actually helped people as well.
this is it. So you know, yes, Andy, we would love you to come back on the show. So.
And as far as the good and bad gin and tonics, only when you put too much tonic in it, mate.
Yeah. So, well, just to let you know, we are going to be closing soon because I need to go and sort this website out before my host decides to go on holiday. So,
holiday?
Yeah.
Coming soon.
So I'm going to let you know what's coming up in the next week. Next week we've got Tony Toppin back on. He's going to talk to us about mind control and pop videos. I think that's what he said. Hold on, let me just double check. Mind controls and something or other.
I think he did say pop videos.
I'm sure he said pop videos. Let me just check, let me have a look. Mind control and pop video symbolism. There you go, Andy. There's one to get your teeth into. Okay. And we're hoping to do a Sunday show. Video. We're hoping to do a Sunday, miss the 10th of Wednesday the 10th, and do a Sunday show on the 14th. Okay. We want to talk to somebody from America, and that's the best day. Okay. So I'm hoping that they can do that, and I'm hoping also that we can get a psychic medium on called Ryan Gooding that day as well. We've also on the 24th of July, just to jump a bit, we've got Nick Redfern coming on the show via Skype, satellite, whatever you want to call it. So and so hopefully what would you like to talk about, Andy? 10th is the wife's birthday. That's all right. That means
he was happy we were moving to the 14th.
Yes. Great. I wouldn't have to miss it anyway. Do it with the gin. What? No, it was the gin. So what would you like to come and talk to us about, Andy? I'm looking for people for the show. So I'm hoping to get Ryan on for the 17th. Sorry, the 14th. If you can. Either that or the 17th. So I'm just hoping that he comes back to me and picks one of them dates. Well, there's the Nazi and the occult, or JFK assassination, or Jack the Ripper. You decide. We need a subject, JW.
Symbolism.
Symbolism. What? That's what we're talking about on next week. No, you decide. JFK sounds interesting. So are we talking conspiracy theories here, Andy? Happy to talk JFK. Are we talking a conspiracy? Oh, yes. Okay. So JFK, when was he assassinated? Yes. Do we know what date?
And the men on the grass,
No.
only lasted about a month. And they
From the real to the totally nuts. Okay. Well, you'll have to send me a synopsis of what you're going to talk about so I can let people know what you're going to talk about. Okay?
So we can have a look at it ourselves and try and get some questions for him.
Yeah.
Makes it easy if you know where we're looking.
Yeah, so if you give me an idea what you're going to talk about, then we can find some questions for you. Otherwise, it's going to be a case of...
I missed it. It was 63.
Yeah.
22nd of November.
1963.
50 years ago this year.
Well, send me an email or a thing on Katie on Facebook. Give me something that I can work on, so I can find some questions for you. Because otherwise, you'll be sitting here talking all day. So, what really happened compared to the government's claims? Okay. So, what's this occult one?
Well,
Nazi and the occult.
Oh, the Nazis and Hitler in particular really loved the occult.
Did he?
Yes, he was. Apart from anything else, he was looking at something that like a weapon or something from it. Also, if you put beliefs into a fighting system, then they're more likely to actually win because they believe that they can't lose.
It was mainly Himmler. Okay. So we'll do JFK then, conspiracy theory. And then a month or two down the line, we'll do the occult one, shall we?
Yeah, the Nazis.
Or even a month down the line. How does that sound? So, does that sound okay with you? Send me some details. Yeah? Symbolism and wacky. Yeah, send me some details, yeah? So I can work out what I'm going to be talking about. Okay, Andy? So, if you could do that for me. All right?
Roy would love to get on that one.
Yeah.
He likes his
Conspiracy theories. We might be able to, see whether we can get Roy in. So, he likes his conspiracy theories. So, okay, best for late July, August. I start TT in September. Why late July and August? Well, we could do one in July, one in August. Couldn't we? What do you reckon?
Sounds good to me.
Hang up, where are we?
Yep,
yeah.
You said, that sounds good to me.
Right, okay. So, let me see.
Be quite interested in the
31st of July. 31st of July. How's that sound? Sounds good. And then you can pick
an August date.
Pick an August date. Okay. Yeah, JFK. Send me some stuff so I know what I'm talking about. Alright. And maybe the 21st or 28th for the other one of August. How's that sound? Talk to me on Facebook. Send me some details so I know what I'm talking about. Okay. Well, we're going to have to call it a day, I'm afraid. And we'll see you again next week.
Every Wednesday night.
Yep, we'll try and be every Wednesday night and the occasional Sundays. So until then.
This is where it's at.
And I'd just like to say thank you for tuning in, everybody. And we hope to speak to you again next Wednesday when we've got Tony Topping on. Try and get him on for 9:30. Or 9 o'clock. Hopefully you'll be in the chat room by then, Andy. So see what you can come up with. So Sunday will be great. I'll be at bingo. I beg your pardon.
It'll be at bingo.
A bit of bingo. What are you on about now? Discuss it on Facebook. I'll be on there in a minute. All right. So until next time.
You're in the right place. Online, on the web, and on air. All over the world.
Yeah, well, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, all we can say is keep the paranormal friendly. Good night and God bless. Thank you.
Everyone. And now, here's a word from our sponsor.
Be honest. Right now, you probably want to lose some weight, live a healthier, more active lifestyle, or get in better shape. We're here to challenge you. Challenge you to make your health a priority with the new Body by Vine 90-Day Challenge.
My favorite thing about the challenge was just losing the weight. Got my life back, that's it.
I come home now, go out and play in the yard with the kids, go to the gym, take the kids to the gym, and starting to live life finally.
Now we've gone from being couch potatoes to being, fit athletes, working out, strength training every single day. It's changed our whole lifestyle, the way that we look at our day.
Let's be real. You don't have to look far to see we have a problem, a growing problem. With today's work demands and faster-paced lifestyle driving us toward quick fixes, it's no secret how we got here. And if you're like most who have searched for a solution, you've only found more frustration. Instead of forcing you to adapt your lifestyle to fit a program, the Body by Vi Challenge adopted our program to fit your lifestyle. Finally, something that's simple, affordable, fun, tastes amazing, and most importantly, it works. The Body by Vi Challenge is the solution you've been searching for. The challenge is the world's #1 90-day platform for weight loss and fitness results. To date, over 500 million ViSalus shakes have been served to millions of people who have already lost millions of pounds, making the challenge the fastest growing weight loss and fitness movement in the world today. Powered by a line of innovative wellness products from ViSalus, the Body by Vi Challenge is the perfect way to start a lasting health transformation. First, you set a goal. Then, select a kit and enter to win. It's that easy. And in a minute, you'll learn how you can even get your kit for free. Let's talk about your goal. If you were to set a 90-day health goal right now, what would it be? Lose some weight? Shed some inches? Run a 5K? Build some muscle? Whatever it is, it all starts with you going public with your challenge goal. Then, you'll select one of 5 challenge kits designed to help you accomplish your goal. The centerpiece of each kit is the Vi-shaped shake. With a scientifically proven formula, thousands of healthy and delicious ways to mix it up, the Vi Shake is easy, affordable, and tastes amazing. And since it's a healthy meal replacement, the challenge can actually save you money on your eating out and grocery bills.
Challenge kits are so simple, convenient, easy for a person to take, and it gives them all the nutrients they need to keep their body functioning at the peak performance level.
You can have even more fun and nearly triple your chance of success when you do it with others. That's why ViSalus created the 3 for Free program. That helps you get your kit for free when you refer 3 others to take the challenge with you. Last year, over 400,000 free kits were awarded to people on the challenge. Do you want your kit for free?
The 3 for Free program just allows anybody, no matter what circumstances they are, to get their product for free and get healthy at the same time.
I absolutely love the idea that we can get our products for free if we just ask 3 people.
And new in 2013, it gets even better. Having helped millions find success, we're so confident that we've added a new 90-day money-back results guarantee. Save money. Get it for free. Money-back guarantee. You've got absolutely nothing to lose. But wait. Need more reasons? How about 47 million more? Last year alone, we gave away over $47 million worth of free product, prizes, and vacations for people on the challenge. And now with the new Body by Vi Challenge, there are even more ways to win, with bigger weekly, monthly, and grand prizes. After studying millions of challenge transformations, we believe that the secret to your success lies in losing the first 10 pounds. That's why we've launched Project 10, where every week in 2013, we're awarding a total of $10,000 to 10 people who lose 10 pounds. Just document your challenge and submit for a chance to be one of 5 men and women selected every week to win $1,000 in cash. What would you do with an extra $1,000? Plus, since everyone who loses on the challenge really wins, lose 10 pounds and rock your free I Lost It t-shirt. How soon will you be saying, I lost it? Every month, those judged to have the best 90-day weight loss, active, and fitness results win and are named Body by Vi Challenge finalists. Feel like a celebrity with your professional photo shoot at Vi Gear shopping spree to show off your success and move on to the finals for a chance at being the next Body by Vi champion. 3 times a year, ViSalus celebrates the most inspiring 90-day weight loss, active, and fitness transformations by crowning our new Body by Vi champions.
Absolutely amazing. We want this for everybody, so commit, submit, you never know. You fill that thing out and you can win. This is amazing. Our lives are going to change.
Experience the Vi life when the red carpet is rolled out for all champions on the ultimate transformation vacation. And while it's great to be treated like an A-lister just for transforming your health, let's not forget the $5,000 Beverly Hills wardrobe shopping spree. You could be the next Body by Vi champion.
It's been just amazing, you know, getting picked up by a private driver and the goodie bags and the schedule and the feeding and the dresses. It's just been amazing.
It's exciting to know that when you set that goal, as long as you challenge yourself, you're going to get there.
And by simply selecting a kit, you have access to all the resources you need to succeed. Take the challenge, and you'll realize it's not just about what you have to lose, but what you have to gain. So, set your goal, select your kit, enter to win. Talk to the person who showed you this video to learn more or to be invited to a challenge party near you. There is no better time than now to start making your health a priority. So why not start losing weight, getting fit, saving money, and having fun, guaranteed. Are you up for the new Body by Vi challenge?
The one phone call that I made to try to join the challenge to lose weight has changed every aspect of our life.